Hello, it's Aenslee Tanner back again. Here's week 2. I'm kicking off with this video of my New Year's challenge to stretch my comfort zone by getting on here and doing these impromptu live videos. So I'm here today wanting to talk to you a little bit more about career-focused topics. Specifically, I thought I'd focus in on how to get a job in a career that's never existed before. Okay, and I want to start off with a few statistics and facts for you to kind of frame the scene before I get into tactics. One piece of research I'd like to reference for you comes from McKinsey, the management consulting firm. And some of the predictions that their forecasting teams have come up with are that by 2030, between 400 and 800 million people are going to be displaced from their jobs due to automation and AI and things of this nature. I'd like to underline and highlight that within that number are not just jobs like manufacturing floor jobs, not just blue collar roles, but white collar roles as well, knowledge worker jobs. Things like paralegals, accountants, computers, and AI technology specifically are going to be taking over in the next few years the jobs that we've often relied on for humans to do. And that has profound implications for our careers going forward. So also in the McKinsey research, they cite between 25 and 50% of those hundreds of millions of jobs that are going to disappear due to technology. They're going to require that people not only look for new jobs, but completely retrain for a new field because that field just won't exist anymore. Okay, so this is really important to be aware of when you're considering the trajectory of your career and how you can gain employment going forward. I want to say too that it's not that there aren't going to be less jobs because of the technological changes that are happening in the future. They're just going to be different jobs, right? So even if you think back, 20 years ago, jobs like social media manager didn't exist. Dog walkers, running pet hotels, like jobs like that did not exist decades ago. It's a sign of, society evolving and jobs change with that. So it's not that jobs are going to go away, it's just that jobs are going to change. We're going to see more jobs like cognitive systems engineer, blockchain solution architect. Things that have never existed before are going to pop up in the future. And we can't always predict what those are going to be, but this is the trend that's going to be happening faster and faster. I think we're going to see that coming. So I wanted to jump in here now and help prepare you for that. So a couple of tips for you. And I'm already starting to see people who are getting roles in some of these new areas, applying these things, and they're working well. So I'd like to see you thinking about how to apply these too. So number one, I'd encourage you to, if you haven't, if you're not familiar with the kinds of, fourth industrial revolution, the future of work, exponential change. I've mentioned those before. I highly recommend you do some research around them just to get your head around what the changes are and look at resources like the World Economic Forum and the predictions that they're making about what skills are going to be needed in the future to help arm yourself with, and also discover where you're curious and where you feel most drawn to potentially investigating a future career for yourself. Okay, even if it doesn't exist yet, you can get kind of a feel for where things are heading, what jobs can technology do, and what will they never be able to do, right? Or at least at this time, we don't think they'll be able to do. You can try to position yourself for those roles to try to make sure that you'll be positioned well in the future. So doing that research, I think, is a great first step. Once you've found something that you're interested in, I think upskilling yourself has to be something that you're proactive about. So while we wait for governments and organizations to catch up and to come up with the new educational systems that will be needed in the future to keep people constantly adapting to the new work environment as technology shifts at an ever more increasing pace, I think it's really incumbent on you to continually upskill yourself, to be proactive about this. There are lots of resources out there online and otherwise, that you can be pursuing to continue to make sure that your skills are relevant for the times that we live in, right? So whether it's Coursera or edX or Lynda or courses that you're doing on iTunes University or in person, there are all sorts of platforms out there, some free, some paid, that will allow you to continue to learn and grow and develop skills. So I highly recommend that you invest in upskilling yourself, okay? The next tip I'd give you is that once you've identified, either because your current profession has gone away or because you're ready to move into something proactively yourself, rebrand yourself for that new role. I don't care if you've not ever done that role before, right? You're going to rebrand yourself as the person who's going to do that role, right? So because you've invested in upskilling yourself, maybe you've developed a bit of a portfolio you've put together. You have a website online where you can showcase the work that you've done as a hobby or for other either volunteer projects or other clients on the side, or maybe you've drafted a white paper showcasing your thought leadership on a particular topic. Whatever it is, put together something that shows that you are the person who knows about this topic and are the right person to hire for this kind of a role, right? Rebranding looks like updating your LinkedIn profile. Change that headline. It doesn't need to be your current role. Make it the role that you want to get, right? So that's really good for keyword searching. Update your education experience to include the meetups that you've gone to in your relevant field, or the training that you've done, the courses you've taken, the books you've read. Show that even if you've never held a role in this area before, you have access to the information, the knowledge, the skills that will make you a good fit for it. The great thing about being early on the curve to some of these things is that you don't have a lot of competition, right? So you don't need to have 12 years experience in a field as a blockchain solution architect, because it didn't exist before. Nobody has that much experience in it, right? So you just have to show that, hey, I've been going to the meetups. I know about this topic. I know the people in the ecosystem. I've published some of my code on GitHub, whatever it is, to show that, yeah, this is the field that I'm moving towards, and here's why, and here are the transferable skills that I have that are relevant for this. Okay, so that rebranding piece is really important. And those are some of the different ways that you can mark yourself as the right person for that role. So again, to reiterate, be proactive, upskill yourself, put together some kind of a portfolio or some way of showcasing that you have knowledge and experience in this area, even if it's not previously being in that exact field or role. And rebrand yourself so that everything aligns and matches up with that, so that your CV, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your website, everything points to, this is the area that I'm moving into, right? Set all of that up in advance before you apply for that new role. And then, of course, throw your hat in the ring, go for it. Only reason you're going to get a 100% chance of not getting it is if you don't try. So go ahead and apply. So with that, I hope that those tips are useful for you. Again, they might be coming a little bit early because these trends we're seeing are going to be coming over the next few years. Midpoint predictions are saying about 2030, we're going to see a lot of disruption going on in the workplace, but I want you to be well prepared for what's coming so that it's not a shock, and give you a chance to get upskilled and ready for that in advance. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to come back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you back here shortly for another video. Bye, guys.